Hey, the Arnold Palmer last weekend, we made a few predictions. We threw it out there. We made some guesses.
We did?
Well, here's what I'll tell you. None of us picked Russell Henley. We didn't see that coming. Listen, he's not among the youngest players on the tour. We've talked about, we were talking about Luke Clanton last week, born like in 2003 or something. This guy's born in 1989. You know what I mean? Born in the late 80s.
That's a great year.
I connect with this guy a little bit. You know what I mean? Looking at our predictions from last week, though none of us got it correct, let's kind of run through how well we did. And here's what I'll do for added suspense. Thank you. And for Gary's sake, while we're still using his same poop picture from his ski trip, even though he's in Florida now, we're going to go second place in our... Oh, yeah, we are.
Sure, was taken on the toilet.
Yeah. Second place in our guessing finals matchup here. I went Scotty Scheffler. He went tied for 11th, 4 under. Third place, Gary took Rory McIlroy, tied for 15th. Josh, you got 4th place, Ludwig Oberg, tied for 22nd, which leaves only Rich, the winner this week, choosing Keegan Bradley. Even though he looked at the opening scores when he chose him, it doesn't really matter. We won't put an asterisk next this one. Tied for 5th because you know what? We love us some Keegan Bradley. And Josh, even though the picture you shows doesn't have the full stash, that smile is there and he looks happy as could be. And Rich, you're smiling just like Keegan Bradley right now. What a great call.
For sure.
Still didn't
Thank
win,
you very
though.
much. I was Keegan all weekend long. It was a bummer that he dropped so much in day 2, but I mean, really had a strong finish. So
It's because you jinxed him.
I mean, 5th place, that's pretty good.
It's not first.
You know what, though? It's also, Josh, not 20 seconds.
20
so, you
seconds.
know.
I don't even think I've came close at all.
We were brainstorming some ideas before the show started about making this a little more interesting, creating some sort of an ongoing game. So I think we're going to develop something. We don't have it all worked out yet, but a way where we can sort of keep score within our predictions throughout the course of the season. I want to make it interesting because if we do something like that, there has to be a prize for the winner, but a consequence for the loser. I mean, that's always the fun of it, right?
You just do fantasy at that point then.
I've got the perfect consequence.
Go on.
Open, close at a bar, and then or open and close at like a Waffle House or breakfast place or something like that. And then like you got it, every pancake you eat knocks off 30 minutes every.
Wow.
I hope I lose.
Josh is out of here in 45 minutes. Man, that's fun. Yeah, so I'm up for it. Let's come up with a game. We'll keep everybody posted how this comes together. And hey, if you got some ideas, maybe throw them in the comments and how we could run this internal game here of terrible predictions each and every week that none of us have once got even remotely close to first place. Top 5.
It's close.
It is, but you know what I mean? If you're not first, you're last.
Ricky Bobby.
Thank you.
It is close. I'm standing by that. It's by far the closest anybody's ever gotten.
Collin Morikawa, which nobody had picked as one of our house choices here, looked really good. Went into Sunday leading the round. Early dominance. Morikawa began the final round with a 1-shot lead and maintained control for most of the day. The turning point, a bogey on the par 3 14th hole, coupled with Henley's birdie, narrowed his lead, and a decisive moment was on the par 5 16th. Henley's chip in for eagle shifted the lead, and Morikawa couldn't recover. Morikawa's post-round reaction, he skipped the media interviews.
Oh.
Yeah. He didn't.
Don't mic him up.
Yeah. You know what, though? I feel like it hasn't been so breaking in the news like when Rory skipped the U.S. Open press conference. But either way, a decision was made. But later on, Morikawa went to Instagram and he said, no excuses, never had any, but always a nice reminder. Honestly, though, this one stings. Which, unfortunately, continues Morikawa's well over 500-day winless streak. He's got a couple majors under his belt. You know, the dude was
really?
Yeah, I think he's got 2 at this point. He came out so strong early in his career, won a couple majors, put his name at the top of the list, big money guy all the way around. And even though he is still considered one of the best iron players in all the PGA Tour, his game is not as complete as, say, a Scotty Scheffler. And even though Scotty looks at Collin Morikawa as one of the greatest iron players, it is about having an entirely complete game.
Collin went in to Sunday with only a 1-shot lead, right?
I believe so.
And then,
yeah.
But I feel like on Saturday he had a lot more than that.
You know what? I don't have that in my notes, so I cannot confirm nor deny. The only thing I can confirm is that he skipped the press conference because that is written down.
No, like I felt like Morikawa had a much better lead, and then just kind of, as the weekend went, just kind of let it slip away.
Some other interesting news coming out of the weekend. Rory McIlroy went into the weekend with some new clubs and left the weekend back with some old clubs. So he decided he wanted to throw some of the new TaylorMade gear in his bag and jumped in with the new QI35 Woods and driver, and then shifted up a few of his wedges, yada, yada. A lot of this came from him switching to the TP5 golf ball. Used to hit the TP5X. He talked about he's trying to work on some spin issues, and so switch his ball. Now he's got to switch equipment to match up to the spin of that, and rolls around to Sunday and says, screw all of this, I'm going back to the QI10. I am just curious. How angry is the marketing department at TaylorMade right now? They're like, we're trying to push some new product. Rory, we back the truck up once a year to the front doorstep of your Jupiter house or mansion or whatever you got going on there. And the breaking news is that you don't like our new stuff. You want to use the old stuff. Coming just about a week after he said his favorite club on the planet is the old M2. These guys got to be pulling their hair out. I got to imagine this dude's going to end up on like Srixon by next year or something.